Hello friends, Koolio here and welcome back to the channel and welcome to my top 10 pick for the best mobile MMORPGs of 2019. Now when I was putting this list together, I was thinking about all these great mobile MMOs I've been playing this year and how fantastic they've been. And then I started realizing that all of those games are games that are only available in Eastern countries like South Korea, Japan, China. And I was like, wow, okay, well let me think about the ones that we have globally available or that are available here in the West, like in America and Europe. And then I started realizing there actually hasn't really been a lot of really amazing mobile MMOs that have launched this year over in the West or at least available globally. There's been some really great ones in the East, games like Blade and Soul Revolutions or Dragon Raja, which will be coming out in 2020. But I do want to emphasize that this is my list. These are some of the games that I found really entertaining or a lot of fun this year and have launched this year. I feel like I need to really emphasize that the games on this list are games that have launched either globally or in English this year. I know there's gonna be some people that are gonna say stuff like, well, what about this game and this game or that game? Well, did the game launch in 2019? Probably not. If your game isn't on this list, it's probably a game I didn't personally enjoy or I just didn't have enough room on this list to put it. So if there is a game that I am missing on this list, let me know down below in the comments. Let me know your guys' thoughts on the list as well. And if you guys enjoy this video, hit that like button and subscribe for more mobile gaming videos coming very soon. So let's go ahead and get started with our number 10 pick, which is sort of a combination of two games, which is Eve Echoes, which is developed and co-published by NetEase and CCP Games, and Second Galaxy, which is published by Zlong Games. These games are both extreme copies of Eve Online. Now, Eve Echoes obviously gets away with it. It's being developed by the same, well, published by the same company that develops the game, and it is really similar to Eve Online. Like, they did a really good job. They did not cut any corners when it came to taking the Eve Online experience and bringing it down to your mobile device. Now, it is a little bit difficult. The UI isn't my personal favorite, but on the other side, you have Second Galaxy, which again is a Eve Online clone that's been taken down to your mobile platform. Now, the Second Galaxy also does have its own PC version, which is available on Steam, but both of these games are really similar. So I decided to add both of them as my number 10 pick. I do think Second Galaxy has a better tutorial and overall user interface, but they're both somewhat difficult to get into because it's taken that massive, large, open universe of a sandbox game and crunching it down onto the mobile platform. But I think both of them did an absolutely amazing job. So I definitely recommend at least giving one of them a chance, and I think you'll like either of them really, because again, they're both very similar. Okay, next up at number 9, we have Rangers of Oblivion, which is published by GT Arcade. Now, this is a game that tries to bring another sort of different twist to the genre onto the mobile platform, as taking the Monster Hunter formula, combining it with an MMORPG, and then allowing us to play it on our phones. Now, I think this game really is a lot of fun. It's one of the very few MMORPGs currently out there that has manual gameplay as its only way of playing. There isn't any sort of auto gameplay for this game. You actually do need to learn your specific weapon choice, how each of the different monsters play, combinations, using certain items and recipes and stuff to help you take down these large bosses. Now, this game has a high difficulty cap when you start getting into the end game, but it also has a really heavy end game grind. A lot of people really complain about that because once you do get to end game, the grind is very repetitive. Now, lately, as I've kind of researched and looked back into the game, it looks like there's been some pretty heavy review bombing of this game due to the fact that developers haven't really been polishing it lately, as a lot of people are complaining that the game constantly crashes. So I'm really hoping this game isn't just dead in the waters now because it wasn't as successful as GT Arcade was hoping it would be, and they didn't just automatically put it into maintenance mode, which would make me really sad. But again, this is a really great game, looks amazing, the controls are fantastic, and the gameplay is a ton of fun. Next up at number 8, we have Tales of Wind, being published by Neocraft Limited. Now, if you are looking for a really good looking and genuinely fun anime inspired MMORPG, then I do recommend Tales of Wind. It actually gives me some nostalgia, as it reminds me of some older school titles I used to play on the PC. And to be honest with you, overall, this is a pretty good game. Now, there is auto gameplay, auto mechanics and stuff in this game, but there's a lot to do. The game runs absolutely beautiful. There's a lot of really fun little activities here and there. But I do think I really do think the developers have kind of ruined this game in the eyes of mobile gamers because of their marketing. I'm sure you guys have seen the marketing for Tales of Wind, and their marketing does not reflect the game at all. They use fake gameplay, over the top, like blue screen, CGI animations and stuff. It really has diminished the game, I think, in a lot of different aspects. Because overall, it's a good game. I just wish they didn't use that really, honestly, crappy style of marketing that you see in a lot of other mobile games that try to kind of fake you into their gameplay, because the gameplay in this I think is genuinely fun, and I think a lot of people like it, specifically if you're looking for an anime MMO that doesn't take a whole lot of your time, but you can still kind of invest some gameplay into that. So at my number 8 pick, I'm gonna go with Tales of Wind. Next up at number 7, we have Era of Legends being published by 101 XP. Now this is an interesting game because it lands at kind of a weird spot for me, because I think it's a pretty good WoW clone, but not the best WoW clone. It's a good looking MMORPG, just not a fantastic looking MMORPG. It's a lot of fun in its dungeons and boss fights, but the rest of the game is pretty tedious. Now, if you're looking for a new WoW clone to play on your phone, one that does work pretty good, has a decent class selection, but very limited race selection, as every class is a specific race, which is kind of a negative for me, then Era of Legends may be a game that you really enjoy. It's a game that you can kind of pick up and play little bits here and there and still feel like you're progressing. It's just not the most engaging gameplay until you get to little intervals here and there of dungeon bosses and boss fights and stuff like that, that I find it where it really begins to shine and pick up. The cosmetics themselves and the overall look of the game, again, is heavily inspired by World of Warcraft, but it isn't the best looking game. Looks good. The gameplay's fun, not amazing. Again, it's in a weird spot for me, but my number 7 pick, I'm gonna go with Era of Legends. Coming in at number 6, we have Alliance X Empire by Nexon. Yes, Nexon, I get it. Go to your comments, rave, whatever, get angry. I don't really care. Let's talk about the game. So this game is actually kind of an old MMO. It released 2 years ago, but it finally came here to the West as of January of this year. And to be honest with you, I think it's a really good looking game. It's got a lot of really great mechanics behind it. Open world boss fights, a lot of large open world environments, really fun dungeons, some great class selection. But again, it kind of follows that same formula that you see in a lot of other Eastern MMOs, specifically those from South Korea, with a really heavy emphasis on auto gameplay mechanics and jumping into the game and more of a character management feel behind it. But I do think it's a game that is still worth giving a try. It has a different tone than a lot of other Eastern games that come out here to the West. It's got more of a European feel behind it, and I really like the atmosphere, the gameplay. The combat is decent when you actually manually take over for it. So I think it does have its merits behind it, but I do caution that the game is, again, an Eastern MMORPG that just came out to our platform this year, but it may still be worth giving a try. Okay, coming in at number 5, we've got Ragnarok M Eternal Love by Gravity Interactive Entertainment. Now this game is incredibly successful, specifically in Southeast Asian countries. Now this game has had multiple different launches as it's released in different areas, but as of this year, it has gone globally available to everybody. Now Ragnarok M Eternal Love is sort of a spiritual successor to one of the most beloved franchises ever, Ragnarok. Now, the Ragnarok series has had a lot of games. Like, there are tons of new Ragnarok games constantly coming out, and this is sort of the new iteration that has taken off. Now, this game is a lot of fun. I personally really enjoyed it. With the type of gameplay and style behind it, I didn't mind the auto gameplay mechanics in it, as they've done a decent job at kind of combining and balancing it with some manual gameplay. Now, if you're a really big fan of the Ragnarok series, you will really love this game, and there's a lot of nostalgia behind it. And again, this is one of those games that's really popular, has a massive player base pretty much all over the world, and a lot of people play it, a lot of people enjoy it, and it's got a lot of little mechanics within the game here and there that keep you interacted with it that are just an absolute blast. So at number 5, I'm going with my one of my favorites so far this year, Ragnarok M Eternal Love. Okay, coming in at number 4, we have World of Kings by Zulong Games. Now, World of Kings, at first, when I first tried the game, I thought it was okay. It wasn't the most interesting game that I had played, but then I decided to kind of take a relook at it and really try to immerse myself into the gameplay and actually try all the different sort of gameplay mechanics and elements that the game had, and I found it to be a really enriching, open, and fun MMORPG. Yes, it's got, the tried and true auto gameplay mechanics behind it, but once you look past that and really look into some of the different gameplay modes that they have in the game and actually look for the fun that the game has for you, which, again, you're playing a game, you shouldn't be looking for the fun, but once you do actually take the time to dedicate into World of Kings and find all the fun stuff that it has, it's a really great MMO, and to be honest with you, probably the best WoW clone on the mobile platform right now. It's got a lot of different races, a lot of different classes, some decent customization, a whole bunch of game modes, and a pretty dedicated player base. So again, if you guys are looking for a really great WoW clone, besides Era of Legends, like this one is actually really, really great, I do recommend you guys give World of Kings a chance. All right, coming in at number 3 is Donna Vials by NetEase. Now, I almost considered making this my number 2 spot, but Donna Vials hasn't really been updating as fast as I was hoping it would be, and it doesn't have the biggest player base, but I gotta say, this is probably one of my favorite mobile games in general this year. I absolutely love Donna Vials. I've actually had a couple of people ask me, like, how come I haven't covered the game since its release? Well, unfortunately, I wasn't getting the views I was hoping for this game, and as this is a business that I run, I wasn't really, inspired to make more Donna Vials videos when it wasn't getting the views that I was hoping for. But to be honest with you, I love this game, and I constantly re-download it all the time to jump in and play, and they currently have the Christmas event going on, so I might even make a video for that one, because again, I love Donna Vials. This is one of those games I think does a perfect balance of auto gameplay and manual gameplay. In fact, the game probably has more manual gameplay than automated gameplay in it, and the manual gameplay is a lot of fun. They have so much stuff going on in this game that I think a lot of people miss out on. There's a lot of hidden characters that you can find, hidden achievements, a bunch of different dungeons that you can play through. There's crafting, there's your own home island that you can customize. The combat is great. The graphics of this game, I think, are absolutely beautiful, and the interaction with the world itself is a huge highlight for me. I highly recommend that you guys give Donna Vials a chance because it's one of my favorite mobile MMOs, if not my personal favorite mobile MMO of the year. All right, coming in at number 2, we have Perfect World Mobile by Perfect World Games. This is sort of a spiritual successor to the very popular PC MMORPG Perfect World International, I believe is what they called it when they brought it over to the West. Now, I used to play Perfect World International a lot when it came out. I would always constantly jump into the game when they had new expansions, new characters, new classes, all this stuff because it was constantly updating, one of the most popular free-to-play MMORPGs of the time. And they finally brought it over to the mobile platform, and its English version came out this year. And I gotta say, it's pretty good. Again, it does follow a lot of those tropes that you see in Eastern games, but it looks beautiful, it runs great, the combat is actually decent, there's a lot of gameplay behind it, a lot of content. In fact, I recently just downloaded the game and I've been playing through it as I've kind of been backtracking and looking at some older MMOs that I've played in the past and giving them a second chance. And I gotta say, Perfect World Mobile is a really good game. Like, they did a really good job, and just kind of walking around and not even like paying attention to the questing of the game, the world itself is beautiful. It's highly populated. They're coming out with more and more content, so I'm really excited for the future of Perfect World Mobile. All right, coming in at number 1, and this is probably not a surprise for you guys, but it's Black Desert Mobile. This is hands down the best mobile MMORPG of the year. This game is fantastic. It's older in the East, it's been out for a while, but it finally came out to the West as a few weeks ago, and it is a fantastic game. It does, again, a really good balance of auto gameplay to manual gameplay with a decent amount of challenge. A lot of stuff to do. You got your camp, you got your workers, you got your crafting, you got boss rushes, you've got your ancient ruins, you've got PvP, you got your main storyline, you got crafting, gathering, all this stuff. It's just, there is so much stuff going in this game that it can be very, very overwhelming. But I've noticed as I've continued to play the game and I've learned more and more about all of its little intricate mechanics within the game, it's got so much fun content behind it that it constantly keeps me coming back to want to continue to progress my characters so I can continue to unlock all this really great content. And in fact, the content that will be coming out in the future, again, has me really excited for Black Desert Mobile, because as of right now, it's probably the most populated mobile MMO on the platform right now. Tons of people are playing it, tons of guides out there, tons of videos, a lot more content is coming out right now, and they've released a lot of fun in-game events. Right now, they have the Christmas event going on right now, which I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I'm trying my best not to buy that Christmas outfit because it looks beautiful. But I love my characters, I love the customization, the world, the gameplay. It's a nice game for me personally as of right now. So there you go, guys. That is my top 10 list of the best mobile MMORPGs of 2019. If you guys enjoyed this list, leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you're new here to keep an eye out for more upcoming mobile game videos in the future. And if there's a game that I missed, let me know down below in the comments. If there's a game you guys want me to check out, again, let me know in the comments down below. Well, guys, my name's Koolio, and I'll see you next time.